New Royal Advisor, new first impression. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 1 of Frankelda's Book of Spooks. So this is a first impression Patreon reward for Dice. Dice has joined our ranks of Royal Advisors. For those of you who may not be aware, Royal Advisors is our top tier of patrons, and they get the ability, on top of choosing multiple rewards every month, to choose a first impression reward every month. And so we're going to be checking this out today. I don't know what to expect from this. I've never heard of this. It sounds like a very Halloween-y kind of thing. Sounds like it might be, I don't know, comparable to something like Monster High. But I don't know. I don't know, like, the context behind this. I don't know what to expect at all. But I tend to like that kind of, like, silly, spooky stuff that's not, like, too horror, but is more like horror for children, it kind of delves into that realm without really getting to be too much. And don't get me wrong, I like it when horror gets to be a little too much sometimes, but I can also dig something that's just fun and silly. It's sometimes just relaxing and enjoyable to watch. Courage the Cowardly Dog could go both ways. Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of those shows that had episodes that were horrifying. Especially as a kid growing up with that series. And then there were other episodes that's like, oh, this is just kind of cute and fun. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a good time. But it's not actually scaring me at all, even as a kid. And so it's like, since I grew up with that, getting both sides from Courage the Cowardly Dog, I think that's shaped the fact that I do like both sides of horror, that I do like both the more kid-friendly side and the more actually fucked side. I blame Courage the Cowardly Dog for my love of horror in every way. How about that? So yeah, I don't know what to expect from this, but I'm definitely interested to find out, because it sounds like it could be pretty interesting. I assume this is animated, but I'm not 100%. I do know that this is about 14, 15-minute episodes. I noticed that when I was getting the episode downloaded. And apparently it's not in English, I guess. I think. Because there are multiple sets of subtitles, at least for the files I was given by Dice. And the automatic subtitle is set to Russian. So I don't know if this is Russian or something else, or maybe it is English and just the subtitles for some reason auto to Russian.
But you can change the subtitle language. So we got English subtitles. We don't have to worry about that. It's just it was automatically set to Russian. Um, I think Dice. I think you did say it was in another language though. Let me see if I can bring that up because that was something I was already told when it was requested of me. So I don't really count that as a spoiler. Let me just check here. It's Mexican. Okay, so it's in Spanish with English subtitle. Okay. Okay, so kind of like Villainous, which we reacted to I think a couple years ago now. Something like that. I don't remember how long ago it was. Actually, I think it was like it might have been like as late long ago as like 2020 or 2021. I'm not sure. But it's I guess it's like that. Except Villainous was originally made in English and the Spanish was the dub. I don't know. But either way, I'm very curious to see what we have in store for this. So I'd say we just get into this and check this out.
Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, this seems to be like a Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Hood kind of thing, where it's like it's a series of short stories told by Frankelda, with the framing device of Frankelda and her book trying to get out of their situation or get out of this house. The book doesn't seem to trust the viewer, while Frankelda, it just wants to trust everything so that she can find her way out. But the stories seem to be like these horror-inspired stories with a little bit of thematic and messaging to it. So for this first one, we get the story of Nemo. This young boy who wants to be a boy. He wants to go out and be able to, experience childhood, play with friends, eat sweets, just live. But his parents are the kind of overbearing helicopter parents who force their kids to do nothing but study the entire time because they want their kids to grow up to be a doctor or a lawyer, and they're forcing their desires and beliefs and everything on their kid rather than letting the kid figure out their own path. It's a very toxic mentality and is not really good, especially when the kid is that young. There's nothing wrong with wanting your child to, do well in school and grow up to be successful. That's not a bad thing, but it's when you are so overbearing to the point where you don't let them have a life and they have to do nothing but homework and studying all the time. It's that's not okay for a number of reasons. So Nemo wants out of this life and is willing to do anything to get out of it. And that's when the gnome living under his bed, because I guess that's a thing, hears about this. The gnome comes up and tells him, I have a deal. We can make a deal for this. I just need to know your name. I'll do all your homework. I'll do all your studying. I just need to know your name. And that's already a huge red flag. This is a kid though, and he's not going to think too much about that. He's questioning it at first. It's why do you need my name? What even are you? Who are you? But the gnome just keeps singing at him just telling him it's like, oh, you want to get out of this life, you want to be able to live. I just need your name. You just need to tell me your name. Don't worry about all the other details. So Nemo eventually does do so, after which the gnome tells him that he's a gnome. He doesn't reveal any information about himself until after Nemo gives him his name. So at this point, it seems to start off pretty well. It's one of those kind of things where it's like, I guess like a monkey paw. Not really monkey paw. Because with monkey paw, it's like the wish just goes really badly in a way you don't expect. This is where it starts off good, but ends up twisting into bad the further along it goes. It's not quite the same, but it starts off really well. Because he gets to go out, he gets to live his life, he gets to have sweets, he gets to play with friends, he gets to live while the gnome sits in and does homework. But eventually, something goes wrong. Nemo comes down to notice that the gnome has taken his place. His parents are acting as if the gnome is him. And so the gnome reveals at that point, it's like, you gave me your name. I have become you now. And obviously the parents don't see the gnome as a gnome, they see him as Nemo. It's like, the idea is the name gave his identity to the gnome. I made a comparison to Spirited Away, the Hayao Miyazaki Studio Ghibli film, and it's actually kind of fitting here. Because, I guess spoilers for Spirited Away, it's a movie that's over 20 years old, though, so I guess skip ahead a little bit if you really don't want to know or don't know already. But spoilers for Spirited Away. In Spirited Away, there's the witch Yubaba who runs the bathhouse. And Yubaba hires in Chihiro by taking her name. She takes her name and she gives her the new one of San. Throughout the entire film, after that point, San forgets her true name. She starts to forget her name, her true identity, her purpose and everything, and she starts to become San. Until the end, where she's finally able to get her name back, and she also helps Haku get his name back, Kohaku River, and she's able to reunite with her parents and everything, but it is that, like, kind of path of losing your identity through giving your name away. It's actually, it is very similar. It's actually a very similar idea, even if not exactly the same. So I kind of dug that. Because Spirited Away is like, it's a classic. It's so good. It's one of the best Ghibli films, easily. Up there with the likes of When Marnie Was There and Laputa and Howl's Moving Castle. And for me personally, I really love Kiki's Delivery Service. But, you know, it's up there. And so I really like that parallel I was able to draw. But yeah, the gnome steals Nemo's life and by stealing his name, well, being given the name. It is a choice that has to be made, just like in Spirited Away. And Nemo starts to turn into a new gnome because of it. Nomo Nuevo, as they kept chanting. And at first he still retains his normal look, but eventually does start to transform physically into a gnome. And so he figures out that his neighbor also kind of resents his life a little bit, and so he goes to hide under his neighbor's bed, with the implication that one day he might make a deal with him to gain his life for doing a few chores. And it feels like this almost vicious cycle. Because you almost gotta wonder if the gnome that took his life used to be a kid too. And so it's like this idea, like it keeps perpetuating itself. And it's sad and it's dark. and it's creepy. It's not like super heavy. It's not like the most like crazy horror type story I've seen, but yeah, it's good for a younger audience. And even an older audience I think can appreciate it. And speaking of appreciating, I really appreciated the claymation for this. I think it was well done. It wasn't like Studio Leica or anything, but then again, who is? But I really liked it. I thought it was really well done. I thought they like did a good job at the movements and expressions. Especially on Frankelda herself. Like when she first appeared at the beginning of the episode after that little like preamble part, you saw her face was like twisting into like creepy um expressions and stuff. Most of the time throughout the episode, like when she's being shown, she has like a normal like young woman expression and everything, but there's a couple moments where her face gets kind of twisted and creepy, and I love that. I think that's like really cool. And it looks like it's naturally happening. They did a great job at making that feel like it's just the face is morphing believably like that. So I really have to give props there. It's just it's a fun style, and I really enjoy it. I'm also wondering how they made her look translucent. And I've always wondered that with stuff like Coraline as well. How do they make ghosts look translucent when it comes to projects like this? Like, you could see through Frankelda. Not completely, but enough. How did they do that? Did they, like, film Frankelda on a different, like, screen? And then, like input her into the rest of the scene? So, while also, like, turning down her, like, opacity? Because that's the only thing I could possibly think of. Unless they can, like, just, like, I don't know, highlight her form as it even moves around, as they move it around and everything, and change the opacity then. I don't know. But they did a good job at it, because it looked good. And I was, like, really wowed by that. The voice acting was good. I liked the voice acting. And I thought this was a fun time. It's a fun little short, and I'm excited to see the rest. So yeah, that clearly says that for this first impression, we are going to be continuing reacting to this. I don't know when yet. I don't know how many episodes there are in total of this. The link I was given, Dice, you'll have to fill me in if there's more than this, but the link you gave me had 5 episodes, I believe. If there's only 5 episodes, I might be able to do this like as occasional specialty reactions rather than like have to wait for a series reaction to pop up, or like an opening for a series reaction at some point. I don't know. I'll figure something out, I'm sure. But we will definitely be getting back to this in the future. This was a good first impression, and I definitely want to see more. I just can't say when it's going to be yet. So thank you for subbing to the Patreon, Dice. And I hope that you continue to stay subbed as long as you're able, of course, only as long as you're able. And I would love to see more first impressions from you in months to come. And other rewards that we'll get to as well. So thank you so much. If anyone would like to check out the Patreon as well, whether to sub to the Royal Advisor tier or even a lower tier, the link is down in the description below. You can check it out there. All the tiers are listed with their full descriptions on what they entail. And yeah, hope you enjoy the content either way. It comes to the channel at some point anyway, no matter what. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.